This is Maja John Madden in El Diamante, Mexico, and I'm going to do TMI segment number 328 on the topic of wiping your ass in Appalachia and in Mexico. Now, I think you will find this very educational. The first year of the COVID, I spent in the Appalachian Mountains. I had left my cozy apartment in Asheville, North Carolina, and was traveling through the high mountains of western North Carolina in a camper van. And I mostly camped in as remote places as I could on the outskirts of towns or deep in the woods. And went through mountain towns, small mountain towns. Public bathrooms were not always available, especially if I was in the woods. And it was the first year of the COVID. Out there, I wiped my butt with sanitary masks many, many times, and they worked pretty well overall. And here in Mexico, a public bathroom is called a sanitarios. So sanitary masks, I think I was ahead of the game. I knew that that's what they really were for. Just so you would have a handy way to wipe your butt. And don't use it as a sanitary mask after that. I also wiped my ass with leaves many times. I would try to figure out somehow if this is if this is poison ivy or some kind of a plant that's going to leave me really hurting for quite a while. But I never did have that bad experience. Now here in Mexico, in poor Mexico, it's all different. Even in public buildings, there typically is no toilet seat. No, that's really an ornament. In Mexico, that's for middle-class people and fancy places. But the regular people, I've been in bus terminals where there were no toilet seats. And in poor people's houses, the toilet itself is badly bolted down. It will rock around the clock. You're in danger. If you stand up the wrong way, you could knock the whole thing on the floor. And God only knows what happens then. Now, really poor people, the bathroom is like an outhouse. It is basically an outhouse, and apparently somehow they periodically get it cleaned out. In places that are a little better off, there's a water tank up on top of the building, and that's what the flush operates through. So it's not a whole fancy plumbing thing. God, plumbers, they may need a union down here, because I bet the plumbing business is pretty minor in Mexico compared with in the U.S. So typically you won't find toilet paper when you go into a place. You either pay 7 cents to use the bathroom at the bus stop and they unroll some paper for you, or in a restaurant you ask and they'll give you something to take in with you. And I've come to realize that you don't flush, in the U.S. You don't flush tampons or paper towels. Here you don't flush toilet paper because the plumbing just isn't up to it. So when on occasion, like happened to me just now, you cannot wait to get somebody to hand you a roll of toilet paper, and you just head into the bathroom assuming that the little trash can in there is going to have some paper you can use. What you will discover is that it's used toilet paper. It's all nicely folded up. And finding a spot you can use is really quite a challenge, especially if you just had a Whopper. A messy one. Most of mine are not, and I know this part of the information I know even the ladies will want to hear. Most of mine are hard little baseballs and they don't even require any paperwork. But today I'm processing a lot of stuff emotionally and physically, and it required a fair amount of paper. And at one point I found some paper towel that had not been used, just a nice little stretch of paper, not much, but a nice little stretch of paper towel that had never been used, and that was very exciting. So that's it. I hope you feel educated, and I bet this is going to go viral. And Google will give it big play, because this is information you need to know if you're going to Mexico, right? And I think it's not so much that the water makes me have the runs. It's the water combined with stress, because the last 3 days I've been processing, honestly, some really, really deep stuff that's got my whole system in a knot, and I've been getting gas pains. And I think I succumb to whatever little bugs are in the water if I'm off my game. Okay, there you go. Bye.